trying to have a conversation with you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Are you listening? Do you hear me? 'Cause I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of I'm Trying to Have a Conversation with You, a podcast with two sisters who never seem to be done talking. I'm Monique.
And I'm Kasha.
We have a guest again today, ladies and gentlemen. We have our daddy. He is going to be doing our Father's Day episode with us because it seemed fitting so that you guys can really get an opportunity to see what and who made us who we are. So I thought when we first started our podcast, we talked about show ideas, and two that we stuck on is we wanted to do episodes with our parents. For me, it was for two reasons. One, I thought what a great way to capture who they are for the generations that are to come afterwards to be able to meet them. And for me, because I think they were amazing parents. They weren't perfect, but they were amazing parents. And they sometimes, I think they look at us and they'll say, "Oh, how did you guys become how you are?" And I think they fail to realize all the things that they did to make us who we are. So that is why I wanted dad and mom on our episodes. Why did you, Kasha?
Same reasons. I felt like we had really good parents, and one of the big things I say, is that our parents were able to do with what they didn't have. Like they were able to bake a cake without ingredients. So they definitely gave us like stuff they didn't have, and I just felt like that's an amazing thing to be able to do because I don't know in the same position would I be able to do it.
We spoil you rotten.
Oh my god. They did. They had they had their moments, but they also were stern. They also gave us a lot of foundation. So for sure.
Yeah, I like that. So, dad, there's three of us. People don't, maybe not, if you haven't watched all of our episodes, you don't realize there's a third. It is our brother, and he hasn't been on the episode. We'll have to see if maybe we can get him to come on one day. We'll know. Um, but in any event, I want to ask you a question, Dad. How would you describe all three of us?
All of my babies are successful, and yes, I'm arrogant and I'm just so confident in them, and I love them, and I just know that we try to raise them the best way we could, and they just be honest with you, I just think I pray every day and thank God how much I love them and how much I'm so blessed with them. All I can say is God has been so good.
Can you describe each of us in just three words? So give me three descriptive words that describes me. Frugal. I'll take it. What about our brother that doesn't appear on the podcast? How would you describe him in three words?
Is strong, smart, and a traveler.
A traveler. What was the first word you said?
Broad,
Broad.
Broad? Okay,
smart, broad,
I
and a
love it.
traveler. It's
Yeah.
Smart,
traveler.
broad, and a traveler. And lastly, how would you describe the baby of the family? Kasha.
My baby is complex,
Complex,
smart, and fancy. Okay.
expansive. I love it. These are some good words, Daddy.
Those are good.
So I think it was I think it's interesting to get what comes to mind when you think of us. I do want to go back a little bit because I feel like how you grow up can sometimes evolve into the parent or the adult that you become. And I want to ask you, when you were a child and you were growing up, first of all, what was your childhood like?
The most, I won't lie. It was great. Mostly, I mean, as far as like we had plenty to eat. uh, uh, I got to say it was much better in a way than you guys. but because I had to protect you guys growing up. But yeah, I could walk home at night. Didn't have to worry about, you know, because I was in rural
Well,
area. I mean, it was like a state park growing up, and I had many opportunities. And I have to say that really I did. I had so many opportunities, and I had decided one time to be a scientist, a doctor, a lawyer. So I felt really great growing up.
when you were growing up, who was your biggest role model?
My biggest role model, I'll be honest with you, it was my band director. His name was Mr. David Lee Brundage. He was my he was my mentor. He was my band teacher. He was my civics teacher. He was just a fantastic person. He drive from Lakeland to Day City every day. He was the greatest mentor. Never got a chance to thank him. But Mr. David Lee Brundage, Lakeland, Florida.
What did he do that made him a role model for you?
Well, I was in the band, and believe it or not, in sixth grade in the high school band, and he selected me, and it was you had to try for it, and my first time ever trying to learn how to play music and read music. He had trained me in the evening time after, after school, before the bus come in the morning. And so it took me to another level. And he inspired me because Zephyr Hills was a place that was, our houses were the best. We didn't have indoor uh, toiletries and stuff. So what happened is, anyway, he was, Zephyr Hills was a place that everybody couldn't read and write almost, and it was a lot of ignorant people, including my own parents. The thing was that Mr. Brunish inspired me in spite of what I was going through at that time too. Uh, it was some tough times at that time, and Mr. Brunish inspired me. He never ever said anything about the times I was going through. He never even talked about that. You know what he did? He lived in Lakeland. Matthew, I'll take you home today. And the reason was I was in a very, very dark space at that time. And I was thinking about quitting school. I didn't tell nobody nothing. It's just the way he never even, he just like he knew what was going on. And every day drove me places like Lakeland. I've met Dennick McLean, Cy Young Award winner in the World Series. And then he took me to Manatee County. I met the St. Louis Cardinals. I met the guy flying the airplane at Zephyrhills Airport that was dropping the guys out of the sky. I was talk, but I didn't want to tell that my shoes wasn't right, and stuff like that. And he told me from then on, he said, if you ever need shoes, you let me know. Don't you ever walk around like that again. I was in chemistry. I was in biology. And he inspired me not only to be just sharp in class, he inspired me to do the best I can and be the best I could. Don't let my grades drop down because of whatever my situation was, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And he
That's awesome.
inspired me to even push further. I have confidence. That's what he did.
Right.
Mr. Brunish was the one that inspired me to be the best at whatever I do. And he inspired me to never let myself be less than what I am.
So, Dad, you were talking about how you grew up and some of your biggest role models. And I feel like with every family, there are certain traditions that come from your childhood. Were there any traditions from your childhood that once you had your own family that you wanted to make sure that you included?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the 4th of July,
The 4th of July. What did you do that you wanted to include with us?
barbecues,
Yeah.
and I think we had some great steaks back then and hot
Yeah.
dogs.
Did you do that as a kid and that's why you wanted to bring that into the traditions? Or was that something y'all didn't do and you wanted to bring into
No,
tradition?
no, we did that. That's one thing. My mama,
Yeah.
yes, she's going on 4th of July. She's gonna celebrate those holidays now. We're gonna
Yeah.
barbecue.
I love it. I know that we did used to always have 4th of July barbecues, but I didn't know that that was the significance behind it. Um,
Yeah, granddaddy would barbecue the whole half a hog and him stay up all night. And then that next day, Mama and Amy and all of them would come from Zephyr Hills all the way to Stephen out there.
You know, what's funny is I don't do it now just because my son's birthday is really close to the 4th of July and his parties are usually expensive. So I don't do a 4th of July party anymore. But prior to having my son, I always had a 4th of July party. I used to go all out. So it was one of those traditions that was really big and important for me. And it had come from we always had parties, but I didn't know, like I said, the significance behind why it was something that we did.
We did it. We had lots of parties.
I love it. So I want to talk about now, once you became an adult and you becoming a dad. When you, what went through your mind when you found out that you were going to be a father the first time?
Oh, that was scary.
It was scary.
Hmm.
Why?
Well, I didn't have any any support. I got, I was like on my own. I grew up and became a man, and I had no support from the immediate family. It was just me and my mom.
So it was scary because it was just you two. I get it. Um, Once you became a dad, and I being the oldest came, what surprised you when you guys first brought home that baby? What surprised you when you brought me home?
The baby was snuggled up under me. Oh,
Kasha, did you have questions about him being a first-time father or when they found out they were gonna have you?
Oh, that is a question. Well, I guess in order. I mean, once you had the first one, you kind of, you like you say, you were scared. When you had your second, what was that like?
oh, that was even scarier. We lost Matt 11 times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
because he was
We didn't get no
sickly.
sleep for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So,
And then when
scarier.
you had the baby, which I'm a baby by a long shot. What was that like?
Oh, that was all right because we had support. We had uh, your oldest sister.
Yeah.
We had Matt. And we had to look for you every day. You might be in the bathtub in the in the morning.
I used to randomly sleep, like wake up in the middle of the night and go sleep in the most random places, like the bathtub, in front of the washer, under somebody's bed.
Yeah.
You were the weirdest child.
You'll be on the floor. No telling where you'll be in the closet.
I don't know why I
And you
did
eat
that.
on the table. You sit on top of the table and eat
It's true.
We've never discussed that before, but I definitely used to sit on top of the table.
and eat the sugar.
Yeah, that was so weird.
What'd you do?
Eat sugar by the handful.
That's disgusting.
Gross. I would never do that now.
You know, the crazy part is that's something like mom and dad would have never let me do. But by the time you came around, they were like, well, just let her sit on the table and eat sugar.
No, 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 no. They didn't let me eat sugar. They caught me eating sugar. They were like, "What are you doing? Stop it."
Stop
I
eating
spent
sugar.
more time with the baby than I did with any of my other babies because I was always working, working, working.
So for you, dad, what was it like raising kids? Did you ever feel like because there were 3 of us and you and mom, like you said, you didn't have a lot of support? Now grant you there was a big gap between when you had 2 kids versus 3, but once you had 3, did you ever feel outnumbered? Did what was it like for you and mom raising kids?
I got to say, it was great. I won't lie. It, it was it was it was better than I planned. I thought it, when I grew up, I was going to have this family, it was even better than I.
Yeah. I will tell you guys that dad was not necessarily the disciplinarian. Dad would play with us. Dad was like having another big kid around with us because in the summertime, when we were out playing in the neighborhood, if we were playing kickball, dad was going to play kickball and he wasn't going to go easy on you just because he was grown. Was gonna go in. Dad was gonna throw the football with us. He was gonna if we jump in rope, Dad's gonna come out there and jump rope. Dad would play Barbies with me. He didn't care. Like it wasn't like, oh no, that's for girls. But
And
okay,
this one would make me
this is
up.
what he
I didn't want to
Dad,
mention that, but I used to make. I didn't have nobody to make up during that time, so I used to make my daddy up and put on lots of lipstick and stuff. And poor thing, he would wake up with barrettes in his hair. Like, what is
And I was a tough longshoresman, I work on the ship.
he's a tough man until his
Yeah,
daughter put barrettes in his hair. And my dad, like he was the biggest prankster too. Let me tell you, as kids growing up, he would prank us all the time, and he would tickle himself so hard, like he
yeah,
is
he's
right
laughing
now.
now.
He would laugh so hard during the prank that we would get mad, but we would be laughing because he's laughing so hard. And one of his favorites used to be when it was time for us to go to bed. Mom would be like, "Hey, y'all need to go get in the bed. Go get in bed." And we'd be like, "Okay." And I would always be the main one, but Matt would too, be trying to sneak out. Mom would put us to bed, then she'd go to bed. Dad would stay up and be watching TV. We would peek out because the way our house was, if you looked down the hallway, it looked right at our couch. So we'd peek out the door and Dad would
Yeah,
see us and he would be like, "Come on." He would beck us over to him. "Come on, come on." So we go, we think we slick. We go out, we sitting on the couch with Dad watching TV. Mama's in her room, so she don't know. And we'd be sitting there. Dad would put his arms around us, let us just snuggle all into him. And when we got real good and comfortable, Patty, they in here watching TV. And we'd be like, what? And it didn't matter how many
and
times
he
he
would
did it
hold
to
us.
us. He would hold us until she came there. And it didn't matter how many times he did that to us. We would fall for it every time and be just like, I can't believe he's betraying us. But he would be laughing just like that so hard, literally to the point where my mom couldn't even get mad and spank us because she'd come out and be laughing because of him. So it was funny being raised, but at the same time, if there was something going on with you, you could talk to Dad. Dad would listen to you for hours, whereas Mom sometimes would be like, "All right, I done had enough." Dad would just be like, "I get it, baby. I know."
Yeah,
You could tell him all the junior high school business. Dad was gonna listen to all of it. And I always say that Mom was our disciplinarian, but Dad gave us our words of wisdom. Like
mm,
there are things that literally Dad said to me that I carried into my adulthood to this day. And like, one of the things my dad used to always tell me, baby, you make sure that whatever you do it because you want to, not because you have to. That's how come you get educated.
yeah,
And that was big for me. And he said, and I don't care what you're doing, you do it to the best of your ability. And he used to say, it doesn't matter if you frying fries at McDonald's, I want you to fry the best fries that McDonald's makes. And I still to this day, when I'm at work and I'm doing my various careers that I have done, every single one, I have tackled it with that tenacity because I feel like this is me representing my family. And I'm going to do the best that I can do because my dad, that was one of the things that he said to me. And one of the other ones, and I say it to my son to this day, never say you can't. Never
Oh,
say you can't. He would never accept when we were doing something or trying to do something. I'd be like, Daddy, I can't do it. No, don't say that. Don't say that. He would tell
mm,
me. And he would be like, it can be hard, but you don't say you can't do anything because there ain't nothing in this world you can't do. He used to always
yeah,
tell us that.
yeah,
So for me, that was like being reared by Dad. Those were a lot of the things that like, while like I said, he wasn't a disciplinarian, he was definitely the one for me that gave me kind of like I always say like my marching orders to go out into the world. So Kasha, do you have when you think about him raising us things that stuck with you like that?
yes, absolutely. I have a few things. I whatever you do, be the best at it was one of them, and it made me feel like I always was representing my family, which is something that our parents instilled in us too. Is like you're always representing us.
Yeah.
The other one, actually, and I recently said that recently I kind of caught on to it more than I did in the past. But when I was talking about interviews, Dad would say to me, "You have to understand, you are interviewing them just as much as they are interviewing you." And it finally clicked. Right. And what's the one that we say? You came there looking for a job and you can leave there looking for a job. Don't marry yourself to that job. So I feel like that's helped me feel more confident in the things that I've done and feel like I have worthiness and value. I've seen a lot of people who don't know that about themselves when they are working. Another thing that I remember is that dad was really into this poem, Desiderata,
Yes.
and he would say, "Read this poem. I call this my condensed Bible." And I always loved that he said it like that because it had such, like, good wisdom in just a little poem. And so if you ever look it up, it's a great poem, but it is a way of life. It is a way to think. And he just has so many of these little quotes and thought process, and I honestly feel like I carry with him with me every single day. Like,
Yeah.
what I do, like you said, marching orders. I think that was the perfect way to put that.
Yeah. And I don't know, I wanted to say those things because I don't know if I've ever told you, Dad, how much you impact my daily life like that because it is something that you said to me that and those things just stuck. And I can't even I look back in my life and I don't know when was the first time you said it to me. I just know that it was said to me so many times and it was said to me with such a amount of love and conviction at the same time that I was like, okay, this is what we do, in this family. And it's one of those things that just really, like I said, it molded the adult that I for sure became and the person that I am now with when I'm rearing my own children and going to jobs and just living my adult life. I always felt like these were the things that my dad taught me and they go with me every day, so I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I also wanna add too is one thing he would always say is, "You be the leader." And that was something that it didn't always mean to me that, like, "Oh, I'm running around here trying to run everybody," but it always made me know that I was in charge of my own decisions, what was going on. But I will say this, is that I feel like that had made me feel like my the opinions of my family was more important than the opinions of my friends. I was like, "Child, like, if I'm not the leader, this is a problem. Like,
Right.
if I'm following you into something stupid, this is a problem."
Yeah,
So if I did follow something, it was always something to elevate me or I would just not be following it all, you know?
right. So, Dad, I will ask you, um, like I said, we're telling you some of the things we're talking about raising and how you guys reared us. What were some of your biggest wins as a parent?
Well, first of all, with each one of y'all, like I said, finishing school, then going to college, those big wins for me. Just the
Yes,
fact that you attended college and it was a big, big win for me. It just made me feel so, you know, uh, feel so good. I can't even describe it. It was just a beautiful feeling.
I
Then
love
you
that.
guys, from birth and up to grow up, and I didn't never have to get you out of jail. I never had to worry about you skipping school repeatedly and causing all kind of problems in the street, you know, and that was a win-win thing.
Yeah. Kasha, I'm not even studying you, okay?
That's why he said repeatedly, 'cause
I
he
know
was
you
talking about
did.
you.
I only did it once. I skipped school and my dad caught me, so that was no fun. I was like, "Well, I suck at skipping school, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go back to school and make good grades." And I did. I graduated. I actually academically lettered. I did all the good things, thank you. But I think, like you said, you and mom, y'all said to us a lot was, "Be better than me." So,
Exactly.
us graduating and going to college and
Exactly.
not being getting in trouble, you would never accept certain things from us, and it was such a known thing in our home that this will not be accepted. I don't care where you see how you see things growing up. I don't even care if like things that I have done. You're not going to make the same mistakes as me. You're going to be better than me. I wanted to point that out because I especially think now, being in the education setting, I see a lot of parents that don't care to make their kids be better than them, don't care to push their kids to be better than them, and are sometimes even envious if their kids are better than them. And that's another one of those things that I just think makes you and mom standout parents, and that was something you would verbalize to us a lot too.
Yeah.
So, what did we do as kids that drove you crazy?
Mm.
Opening an umbrella in the house.
Oh Lord, here he goes. For those of you who
No,
don't know, my
really.
dad is highly superstitious, so you cannot do certain things in his house. Opening an umbrella is one of them, which was problematic because as kids, when we building forts, we need umbrellas. What else?
If I tell the truth, I can't think of anything that drove me crazy with y'all because I always just loved my babies. When I was home, I always wanted y'all to just sit up under me. I mean, and I always did it like that, you know?
Yeah.
And hug y'all and every chance I got, just love you. And so I didn't, Patty could tell you, a baby could cry all night long, either one of y'all. It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad, he definitely had the patience of Job because he did not get, he's not lying. Like the umbrella thing he would get onto us about, but much else, he
Oh,
didn't
Lord, that's
really,
right.
we could be loud. Do you remember? Well, you probably don't, Kosh, because this happened before you were born. Matt used to be so loud in the house that I thought mom was going to kill him. So
Yeah.
dad used to load him up in the car, and
Uh-huh.
this was before seatbelts had to be on. So Matt would literally hang out the window, and dad would drive and just let him scream to the top of his lungs
Yeah.
for miles. For miles.
All the way to Selfridge. I mean, I did it and driving all in the woods. He said, ah. After a while, you look over there, he'd be
He's
asleep like
going to
that.
sleep.
Where is it?
It did not, it did not bother dad at all. Like he was unfazed by it. He'd be like, come on, boy, you need to go because your mama gonna be. He would just take him
Oh my
and let him scream, Kasha, from Tampa to Zephyr Hill.
God.
With your son, even when he was going to school, yeah, I take him. I said, yeah, I got him. Go to walking with him. That's
Yeah.
why he look at me. He be sleep.
Yeah. Daddy said that like a crying baby, a yelling baby,
Is
or
a healthy baby.
right.
That's right.
Dad never seemed affected by us being loud. We
Mm.
could build stuff in the house. It didn't bother him. Us play like Matt used to take these Tonka trucks and just
Yeah.
run through. Dad was
I'm kidding.
unfazed. Like dad would be sitting there like it's not happening, watching TV. And mom would be just like, make him shut up. So
I
I don't
inherited that from dad. I'm
did you?
like that. You know, like when we talk about working in, I've worked in, preschool and, pre-K, they make a lot of noise and you were like, oh my gosh, like there's too much going on. And it doesn't bother me. Like I can compartmentalize that. I'm like, it's totally different. And people
But
might be like, oh, that's a lot of noise. But I'm like, it's all
how do you
right. What'd you say?
how do you handle it at home with your own children?
I don't mind the noise. I don't like the fighting.
Got it. That
Don't like
also
that.
didn't bother dad because me and Matt used to fight all the time and dad did not care. He was unfazed all the time. So, dad, I want you to think about us individually as kids, and I want you to think about what is your favorite memory we're going to start with the youngest. What's your favorite memory of Kasha?
Looking for her and finding her in the laundry room.
Did it, like when she first started doing that, did it scare y'all?
Yeah.
But then you just got used to her doing it and you'd be like, we just
Yeah,
got to
we just
find
get
her.
up and we gonna find her somewhere.
I don't know why I did that.
What was your favorite memory of Matt?
Of course.
When I took him that day and drove him and when he was yelling and screaming and hollering, and I drove away with him that day, that was one of the favorite times that and I knew I was laughing all the way all the way there when he went to sleep. I was laughing. That was
That's
one of the
hilarious.
most I'll never forget that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
What about me? What was your favorite memory of me?
Oh, one way you was backing down the stairs and we said, "You was sick." We said, "Where you at?" You said, "You in the bed?" "I am." You backing down the stairs. I said, "Look at that Patty. You backing that Patty." Said, "She's so dumb." But I gotta give you this other one though too.
Okay.
The fact that I'm taking a shower and
Oh,
I'm tired. I'm so tired. I've been working hard all day. I'm in there taking a shower and you walking pretty good then. And I said, "Patty," I said, "I'm in the shower." I hear something to the door. I said, "That's you, mama?" He said, "I see you, daddy." I see you. Mama, come get up.
Repeat it.
It was so funny.
I forgot about that one. I do like that one.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask Kasha. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but um, can you tell me, Kasha, the best advice or life lesson that dad gave you?
I don't have like a one specific one because like I said, he always had the gems. He definitely had a lot of gems. I really hold true now in my late 30s to you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you, which means know your worth to me. Like I say, I carry him through day to day. So it's just me carrying myself and oh, one of my favorites. I just thought of it. Walk amongst kings and never lose the common touch. Love that. Dad has said that for years, and it's something I carry with me because it makes me see how to treat everybody the same. Everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves kindness unless they disrespect you. So I've never been one of those people. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care if you are rich. I don't care what you are. You are not going to be on a pedestal to me. And even if you are going through a hard time and you have difficulties in life, I'm not looking down on you. So to me, everybody's on an even playing field. The only thing that will drop you down is disrespect for me. And that's something I learned for dad. And I definitely carry that with me.
Yeah. Well, you stole mine. It's okay because
Right.
that is one that that's one of those ones that literally daily affects me as respect to um who I am because when I was a cop, for instance, that was how I went about being a cop. That I was able to walk amongst kings and never lose the common touch because I was dealing with people from all walks of life. And so whether it was the homeless man on the corner or the man living in the mansion, when I dealt with those individuals, they all started out the same with me. And so that was one of those things that I don't think he realized the weight of his words when he said it to us because it really shaped the person that I became. And I don't judge people. I don't look down on people. I don't look at people who have less or more than me and look at them any differently. The other thing I will tell you is my dad gave me my confidence because from the time I was a baby, my dad used to tell me, "Oh, baby, you fine." So I always thought no matter how big or small I was always cute. So for me, I never like I wasn't the skinniest teenager. I wasn't the skinniest 20 something. I've gone through weight loss, weight gain, whatever, whatever, but I never like questioned my worth because my dad always told me I was cute. So my dad gave me my confidence. And I don't think he in that moment when he said those things, it was just kind of something he just said to me. And I used to always say, "Daddy, do I look pretty?" He's like, "Oh, baby, you fine." And I was like, "Oh." So like, that gave me such confidence because that's what my dad said, and he wasn't gonna lie to me, so I would say those are the 2 things that the biggest life lessons and advice, and I don't even know if he knew he was giving those lessons and advice in those moments. So, now dad, back to you. Now that you have reared your kids and they're all grown, we've all moved children, things like that, what does being a father mean to you now?
Oh, it means more than anything because I'm a grandfather now. And I can't see my grandchildren enough. I can't. I just love them. I just can't keep up with them. I need a helicopter to go to everything, everywhere they is every day. I feel so blessed like that.
Feel like then what you're saying is like being a dad, it's kind of legacy because now it's not just your kids, you have grandkids, so it's legacy for you.
They're my glory. They are glory.
The last thing I would ask you, Kasha, that I want to pose kind of to us is now that we are adults, what is something that we can appreciate um now that we may not have appreciated when we were kids?
I think I appreciate the love and the compliments. Like I was opposite from you when dad used to be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." Da, da. I'm like, "You're just saying that because I'm your daughter.
Not
You have
me.
to say that." And he's like, "No." And I had a hard time with that. And now I see it I see it totally different where I it does help kind of build my confidence in that sense. I do want to add to. that, and I've talked about this before in another episode, that my our relationship changed when I became an adult, when I became a mother.
Mhm.
Um, I talked about before in another episode that I went through postpartum depression and anxiety. And dad is somebody that I really everybody, like my family was very tight with me at that point. But dad was so instrumental in helping me get through that time because he was in the trenches, you know? And I try not to say this with too much emotion, but he definitely saw me at my worst, and I mean my worst. There were sometimes I would sugarcoat it to a friend or a family member on the phone, but dad saw me when I was, like, really at my worst, and I never forget the day that kind of switched me in that moment is when I was, having just literally a breakdown, and he said, "I don't know what to do but to just be with you." And I was like, "Yeah, and I'm not going anywhere." And so I remember just kinda standing there and just thinking like, "Dang, like, my dad loves me this much. Imma get out of this hole," you know? Um, but that relationship to me, like, that's something I feel like I never ever can repay my dad for pulling me out of that mentally dark place that I was in. There isn't $1,000,000, $1,000,000,000 home that could match what he's giving me in that moment, and it reminded me, like, when you were speaking earlier about still being a father, like, he was still parenting. Even though I was a grown woman with a child, he was still parenting me and still gonna be like, I'll carry you through this however I need to." So, that's something I really appreciate.
Didn't make another episode without crying.
Hey, never can.
I was holding mine just on the eyelid, so, um,
Another thing I wanna mention is that, and I said it in the mom episode, is that we had parents who wanted to be parents,
yeah.
and they made it apparent that we were their glory, you know? And so I never questioned, did they want me around? You know what I'm saying? Was I important? Were we important? So we had
Yeah.
parents that wanted to be parents, and we currently have grandparents who wanna be grandparents. So
100%.
that is, it's a very special thing to have.
For sure. I would say the thing that I appreciate now that I am an adult, it piggybacks on watching him with you during that time
Mhm,
was just, ooh, I can't even talk about how incredible it was to watch him still parent as an adult because that's hard. That's a hard place to figure out and navigate, and when he told you, like, "I don't know what to do other than to be here with you," because as an adult, like, as a parent to an adult child, you don't get to tell them what to do or just control it, and that's a tough place, but watching him navigate, I can appreciate that how hard that is, and now as an adult, especially with my own children, and this happened recently, I was watching a thing and it was talking about how when you have your baby, how they stop needing you to reach up and grab things for them and tie their shoes and dress them and letting go of those kind of things. And you know that you have done it right when they need you less and when they don't have to consult with you and when they don't. I can appreciate um the happiness and the heartbreak that comes with that
mhm,
because I was crying my eyes out the other day listening to this letter this lady was writing, thinking about that I still wanna hold my son in my arms and do all these things, and he's big now, he's pushing me away, and he's wanting to do some of these things
mhm,
himself, and I'm having to step back and let him do it, and then it dawned on me that our parents have done this.
mhm.
They've had to completely let go, and I can appreciate now the heartbreak and the happiness that that brings because you are probably like daddy says, he's very proud of us. We're his glory, but at the same time, I'm sure it would give him nothing but joy to have us right up under him all the time, but his success is gauged on the fact that we're not.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say this too. I didn't want to say it. You asked me these questions, and I didn't get a chance. I should have said those first. All three of my children, you,
My
my
brother.
son, yeah, and my baby here, each one of y'all, I cannot even express how proud, how good y'all make me, how love I feel, the way y'all your manifest your love for me and your mama. Man, I can each one of y'all, my son, each one of y'all have told me how much y'all I meant to y'all, and y'all meant just as much more to me. It's just been a love affair with my family. I mean, I can't say I am so proud, and the way y'all, I mean, just let me know how much you appreciated it. It makes me just want to hug myself.
That's good. And you kinda I was getting ready to ask you, what do you hope your family remembers most about you, Dad?
Exactly what I just said. Love how much I love y'all, and how much
Yeah.
you guys love me, and I live forever with that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, this is the last question. What's the one thing that you've always wanted your children to know, but you've never had the chance to tell them? Is there anything like that?
I wanted them to know as much time as I did spend with you guys, as much as I did love you, I wanted to spend more time and love you more. And I wanted to take you more places. I wanted to spend more money. But guess what? We had the most love. As far as I'm
You did.
concerned, I had the most
Oh, yeah.
love. And I look
We weren't the
around at
richest
others.
family, but we definitely had the most
Right,
love.
Yeah.
right. I look
And
around, I
that's
got other friends and everything. They had success in different areas and did good with their families, but they had lots of heartaches and different things. And I said to myself, God has blessed me and so me and my wife so much with a family. Like we've just been, we just it's the love. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. I will say, I know that our family, even though we weren't the richest, we were the richest in love because I look back as I grew up, so many of my friends wanted to be part of our family, wanted to come to our house, wanted to be around my parents, wanted to interact with them. And we used to think our parents are
And some of
crazy,
them,
but our friends loved being around you. So that's what reinforced to me even more like my parents really are like, their houses didn't feel like ours. Ours felt like love.
I want to add too is that like our family is the type of family, and I do credit this to dad and mom, is where everybody was welcome. And we have people in our family that we consider family now that have been integrated in our family to the point where there's no like jealousy. It's not like, oh man, like they're including that person as another, like, surrogate sibling to me and whatever. I think it's beautiful, and I think it's so lovely that we have that, and I think that our parents, it shows how much love they really have to give that they can share it with that many people because
Yeah.
they really are great in that aspect. Really,
Yeah.
really great people.
So to that word, I will say, like all of us have our significant other spouses and our parents have every one of our spouses have been integrated and that's just another one of the kids. Like for them, our parents, they're like, oh yeah, that's my other baby. That's this baby. Like all of our spouses, when they say like this is their family, they mean our families with our husband, our wife, they have just brought them in under, and that's just part of who, yeah.
Yeah,
And they will go to bat for them as much as they do, and sometimes with us for them.
yeah. I appreciate that too. We have
I
very
do.
fair parents in a sense. Like, there's no situation where I can be nasty and wrong to Terrence, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, no. If I was wrong, they're gonna be like, you was wrong. I don't like that. Don't do that."
Playing. You need to stop talking like that. That's what you need to
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
So, um, I want to say, Daddy, thank you for doing this with us. For me, it means a lot. Like I told you in the beginning of the episode, I wanted this to be on record so that my children, their children's children, because when you said earlier about what's the thing that means the most, and you were like, well, now I'm a grandfather, it's that legacy. I want my children and my children's children and my children's children's children to see and hear who you were because you are poured into the foundation. And I appreciate you talking to us. I appreciate the man that you are and you were as we were growing up, showing us the good, the bad, the ugly, loving us all the time, being the one that if I was upset, I knew that I could always just fall into my dad's arms. And to this day, Don't come for me because I'm gonna say it. My daddy gives the best hugs ever in life. So to this day, I walk in the house and my dad can be spitting fire mad, and I'll be like, "Hey, Dad, can I get a hug?" And he will, oh, come on, girl. So just want to tell you how much I just love you, how much I appreciate what you poured into me, and making me the woman that I am. And so I'm not gonna cry no more. Okay, Kasha, your turn.
I would have to second that, like, our parents, both of them together, it was just like lightning out of a bottle to me. That I really appreciate about dad giving us that, and I'm gonna carry that, Monique. I'm taking that with me, is the marching orders, because daddy definitely gave us marching orders. And to know and have your parent in your head every day, and not in a demeaning,
No,
domineering way. It's really like a way where it's like, this is, the way of life. It's like almost like I gently hear a push from him at all times. So I think that that's so important. And I also give them the credit of making me a hippie child, because in what, like, dad is like, you guys were saying like, oh, we weren't the richest or whatever. I feel like we had so many incredible experiences
you did.
because of the fact that our parents were very broad minded. So
Yes.
it wasn't necessarily, there was times that, money was great, there was time money was average and what have you. But there's time they always took us somewhere interesting. They always took us to restaurants that where people wouldn't really regularly go, and kind of ruined me because some of the basic restaurants I was like, okay,
Uh,
that ain't, because
no.
they wanted us to experience more than anything. And that I think was important, because that was like walking the walk when it said walk among kings and never lose the common touch. We
Yes.
went to places where they were very fancy Michelin star restaurants
Right.
and acted accordingly, but it wasn't anything where I was like, "Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be here. I don't deserve this." Dad he made sure that we went places like that and felt comfortable
Yeah,
in places like that.
for sure.
Um, but also very broad-minded. A lot of my music choices, a lot of my things that I really enjoyed that came from my parents, some of the funny, interesting music from the '70s that came from them. So I really do credit, dad especially has such a deep love for music.
Yes.
Jimi Hendrix, like, I would have never been the person to listen to Jimi Hendrix if it wasn't for dad. So I credit them for being so broad-minded as people and allowing us to be. I also say that, yeah, traveling and my love for travel came from
Yeah,
them. That,
for
and
sure.
I would say dad spearheaded that kind of stuff where he's like, "Yeah, let's go somewhere. Let's do this." So just having experiences, being broad-minded, being open-minded, being loving, leading with kindness, I definitely think that came from your dad. I have a tattoo of both of my parents, like, quotes. This is the one that, from my mom, and on this side is dad, and it says, "I love you more." Because there is never a time you can tell daddy that I love you and he'll let it go. He's
Never.
always, always gonna say he loves you more, and you can't win that battle. So
Huh?
This is to you. This is
Yes?
before Kasha was born. You remember, you know how you could trust your dad? Daddy taught you how to trust people, right? When you're on top of that haystack,
No.
it'll tell you to
Another
jump
one of his
off.
pranks. This is another one of his pranks. I could never trust him. If dad told me, "Come on, baby, jump down, I'm gonna catch you," he was going to put his hands there, and then he was gonna let me hit the ground just not hard enough to break legs. That was about it. But he was and I was like, "What is wrong?"
and he still thinks it's hilarious. Like, I feel
He
his
would
belly
laugh.
laughing right so hard. I'm like,
We would laugh every time. So no, don't trust people because of you, dad. You were a prankster. And you know what else dad used to love to do? Hide behind stuff and hide places. And when you'd walk in, go "Arr," and scare, yeah, like insane is what you were,
it
dad.
was funny too.
But you
Like,
were
do you
fun.
remember like when mom would cook dinner and dad would be like, it would be done or whatever, and she'd give him the plate and he would have to growl at his food before he ate.
Yes, before he ate.
Like,
I'm telling you, dad was the most fun. It was
he was very
crazy.
quirky
So,
dude.
Oh, boy.
but I thank you, daddy. I love you. Thank you for doing this episode with us. I've been excited about this from the beginning because of what it was going to be. So I appreciate you and I thank you and I love you. So with that being said, we could talk to Daddy probably all night because Daddy loves to tell stories too. So there's that.
He's good at
Um,
that too.
he's very good at that. But we are going to wrap up, and
Yep.
don't forget to look for us on all of our socials. Kasha,
I'm trying to the number 2 have a convo pod on Instagram. On TikTok, I'm trying the number 2 have a convo. On YouTube, you have to search I'm trying the number 2 have a conversation with you. Look for the little pink logo, and then you can always go to streettailsnetwork.com and look at our episodes as well as our brother episodes of 56 and Street Tales.
that is correct. And don't forget,
So
if you have a great story about your dad, even though he's not as amazing as ours, you can always email us at trying the number 2 have a convo at gmail.com. So, with all that being said, I'm Monique, that's Kasha, and that's our dad, which I don't think we ever said his name, Matthew. And this conversation is over.
it's over.